Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Virtual Velocity Racing Fall Xfinity Series as we are here for a new track here on CRN. I don't believe we've had a race here at CRN. I've dabbled at this track before, but I think that was just in some fun off-series here. But we're here at the Kern County Raceway as this is definitely a short track. I don't even need to argue with Jimmy about this. This is a very, very short track here, but it is a tri-oval as well, and it's something that you don't see too often with a track this small. I mean, certainly you look at tracks like Richmond is a 3/4 mile track, and that is a tri-oval. But here at the Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, I mean, this track is it only measured to a half of a mile, so it is a very short track here. But it is it's going to test these drivers here tonight. Let's be honest, they don't get a chance to get on the short tracks too often, other than your Bristols and sometimes Martinsville working his way in there. But here for the season, this is, I believe, going to be their one and only short track here that they're going to be tackling. So we'll see how they do out here tonight. Under the lights here, Carl Hammer joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, short track race, and then we get to just sit back up in the booth and watch.
Yeah, I am plenty content to be up here in the booth for tracks like this. Actually, in reality, Carl, this half-mile track has some decent banking in the corners, so it's really not too bad. Obviously, the drivers, their biggest concern here tonight is obviously that it is a shorter track, and if they stay green like they have been in the past few races, pit road is not the easiest. Now, there is 22 stalls in there. We don't quite have 22 drivers, so each and every driver gets their own stall, so no stall sharing here tonight. But definitely it's going to be interesting for the drivers, if they decide if they can go green that long and actually have to make that pit stop.
Well, it's been a pretty interesting season here so far. 6 races are completed. We have 3 different winners. Mike Casey won the opener at Milwaukee Mile, and then won last week out at Daytona. John Garrett won the second and third race at Rockingham and Talladega, and Dalton Kilroe won Richmond and Chicagoland for race number 4 and 5. So 3 different drivers, each with 2 wins on the season, but it is John Garrett that's on top of the boards with his 2 wins, 4 points ahead of Mike Hasty. Dalton Kilroe is back tied for 4th with Tyler Hilton with his 2 wins, with Len McNeese sprinkled in there in 3rd place. But very, very close battling, and right now only 27 points separating the top 7 in the standings. So it's John Garrett, Mike Hasty, Len McNeese, Tyler Hilton, Dalton Kilroe, Michael Pratt, Eric Blunt, and Cade Green for your top 7 is the tie for 7th place there. And we got Tim Lee, Hemi Gardini rounding out your top 10, as we got, I believe, 14 cars that are going to be looking to take the green flag here tonight. And we are, looks like, just about finished up with qualifying, waiting for the final seconds to take off. And there we go. We are starting order here for tonight. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown?
Yeah, quick rundown of tonight's start order. It's going to be Dalton Kilroe at number 41 on the pole here tonight over Tyler Hilton in the 02. Row number 2 going to be John Garrett with Mike Meyer, and row number 3 going to be Dustin Franklin with Mike Hasty. Row number 4, Len McNeese with Tim Lee. Eric Blount, Hemi Gardini make up row number 5. Row 6 is Dalton Gibson with Cade Green, and Michael Pratt and Cole Spaulding making up that 7th and final row here tonight.
This will be 140 laps here under the lights. We had 140 at Milwaukee Mile earlier this season, so we'll see how quick the lap times roll around here tonight, and hopefully we get some green flag racing, which, I mean, here at VVR, it's typically what we're used to. We're used to seeing a lot of green flag racing, and we'll see how that plays out here tonight. Looks like Mike Meyer not making the start here. Looks like he's going to be starting from pit lane, so it's going to be Dalton Kilroe, Tyler Hilton, John Garrett, and Dustin Franklin technically for your top 4 here. And we're going to get this thing fired off right away. No extra pace laps or anything like that. It is time to go racing here. So I think the field needs to just tighten up here a little bit. I think Mike Acey needs to come up there, and looks like he's going to leave that spot open there. And I think that is a gentlemanly thing to do with the driver missing the start of the race. The 72 just staying right on the outside right there. And it looks like maybe the pace car faking me out. We are not going to go green this time by, as we will have an extra one. The lights didn't come back on. It's just, I guess, 2 pace laps with the lights off. But we'll look at how the pit stops are going to be here as well. It's certainly, you know, it's short track racing, so it is going to be tight getting into to pit lane. Just at the beginning of turn number 3, you'll see the pace car make that hard left-hand turn, excuse me, into pit lane. And we are ready for 140 laps here at the Kevin Harvick Kern Raceway. As the cars come out of turn number 4, they will double up right behind there, and we are racing here at Kern County.
And different type of racing here. Obviously short track racing, but a great start here by VVR as typical and as normal here. And Dalton Kilrow kind of getting out there quickly here to kind of, you know, get out front and stay in that clean air, and don't have to worry about, you know, with somebody braking a little bit early, you can set your own pace. But it is about setting your own pace. Do have some drivers coming out of the pits. It does look like Cade Green coming out of the pits now to catch up with the field. 41 leads here for first, but the battle is for P number 4 back there with Mike Hasty and Tyler Hilton.
He's looking to try and go back-to-back after winning last week, and going to take that spot here and move into 4th position. This is a track that it's going to be a bottom feeder. It's to me, I mean, he can run that you know, kind of middle lane maybe early on in the stints, or you know, maybe if you saved enough tires, you can get up there. But typically, you're going to see those cars dive down towards the bottom. Best passing opportunity is most likely going to be down into turn number 1. You got to get a good rotation out of turn number 4, keep it low, and try and keep it down there on the bottom of the you know, the slightly banked or slightly turned front stretch there. That's tri-oval part of it on the front stretch, and try and dive it down into the inside in turn 1 and take that inside position, because inside is certainly going to be key here tonight, as Dalton Kilrow running some fast laps out front. Currently fastest lap of the race with an 18.58. Sub 19-second lap times here, Jimmy. It's what we see at short tracks, but we don't get to see it that often. That it kind of like shocks me sometimes when we look up there and it's less than 20 seconds a lap.
Yeah, I mean they go by quickly, so you gotta think about obviously then pit stops, or the pit stop, or the pit stops, whatever it may be here. Obviously, only 7 laps in of the 140. Plenty of racing here to watch tonight as they get around here at Kern, doing a great job so far. And you know, obviously you kind of hear the drivers are on the gas, off the gas, on the gas, off the gas, and you know, not pushing the car too hard. They don't want to overwork them tires. We talked about the cars trying to get around at the bottom, but in order to stay down at the bottom, you need to kind of maintain them tires too. So don't push the corners and drive yourself up the track so you're burning up your tires, and then iRacing's yelling at you that you need to get new tires, and then you get a meatball because your tires are blown, whatever it may be. And that's not the case here right now, as we're on lap 10 of 140. Don't kill her out front over John Garrett, Dustin Franklin in 3rd, Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton for your top 5.
Shout out to Barry out there as usual, and shout out to Tyler Hilton in the race here tonight. But giving us some particulars and some details to the cars out here tonight. It looks like the cars are banging that rev limiter on the front stretch, as it's set up for a short track gearing, but maybe just not enough gear on the front stretch. And then looks like our pit window is going to be around 60 laps here tonight, so should see at least 2 pit stops for the drivers. But yeah. Hopefully a whole lot of fun for all the drivers out there tonight, and hopefully they can all get through this thing nice and cleanly. But certainly, I'm sure the 88 and the 19 of Mike Meyer and Cade Green wouldn't mind a caution to kind of get them back into the mix of this race already, because they are back there. Looks like Cade Green is now out. He came out there to run a few laps, ran about 7 laps. Now he's back in the pits, maybe calling it a night here already for the 19, as he got a meatball. Mike Meyer is out there and racing, but he is, I believe, 1 lap down. So yeah, he is 1 lap down of the field right now, so he wouldn't mind a caution to get back on the lead lap, as he missed the start of this thing after qualifying in 4th. So the 88 is fast, but just needs an opportunity to show it here. Dalton Kilroe leads it 1.2 seconds ahead of John Garrett. Seen them battling quite a bit so far this season. Dustin Franklin, Mike Hasty, and Tyler Hilton for your top 5.
Yeah, just trying to kind of, watch these drivers here tonight. We haven't been to this track except maybe for something. I didn't have to purchase it, so that means I've been here some way, shape, or form. And I don't think I've broadcasted here, or maybe I have. I don't. There was a time I was doing some short track coverage for some trucks I forget the name of the league because it was only for a season, but. It's definitely a unique, obviously, way they used to do. I can't use my words.
Use your words.
Heats. They used to do heat racing. So they come out here and it wasn't really a heat. They'd run the heat to set the order, basically. So they'd run like a small 10-lap sprint race, and that's how they set the order, and then they'd go out and they'd run the main event or whatever. But there's pretty usually only about 10. If they start off with about 15, 20-ish trucks, and then they ended up dwindling down, and I think the last and final race, they had five trucks still on the track. So the league fell apart. So I mean, it happens. Not what you want to see, but just maybe didn't fit everybody's style. Maybe they weren't happy with who was running it. There's all kinds of some politics when it comes to some leagues, and that might have been one of the things that kind of was up there. But it was fun to watch them, and I think I'm almost positive they ran here. So I'd have to double check my log of races that I've actually broadcasted, but definitely some way, shape, or form I've been on this track. Just can't remember.
Yeah, I know I've been here. I don't remember if it was the mini stock series in Core or what the case was. I know I've raced on this track before. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the bull ring out in Vegas. I believe there we've covered a race. Here at Kern, I'm not sure if I've covered a race here before. I think it's the first time, at least for me, here covering a race at the Kern County Raceway. But yeah, either way, like you said, the laps tick by quickly. We're already more than 20 laps into this race here, and certainly well and into the first stint here. As we got a little battle right here, you see between Mike Hasty, Dustin Franklin, battle for 3rd place, and you see just a little bit loose on that bottom line as Hasty now trying to make it stick on the bottom here out of turn number 4, but just doesn't get a good enough drive. We'll see if he sends it down into turn number 1. He is going to go down low. The 73 in that second lane just trying to defend right now, and so far it looks like the second lane is an option for defending, as Hasty has to chase it down the track to save it, and a good job doing so. It's going to cost him quite a bit of time, but he holds on to 4th place for the time being, as now Tyler Hilton right behind him. The only other battle back there is for 10th and 11th with Eric Blunt and Cole Spalding. But other than that, it is a nice sizable lead here at the front. About 2.5 seconds now for Dalton Kilroe, as he's looking to grab his 3rd win on the season, maybe move a little bit closer to that top spot.
Yeah, continue to keep moving there. Got around that battle there with Dustin. So and now hold on, Dustin trying to chase down excuse me, Mike Hasty didn't get around, but Dustin Franklin is in 3rd, catching up with John Garrett. So just trying to race us down the hills. I'm looking up in front of Kilroe, and Kilroe is starting to catch up to the 19 of Cade Green, and trying to get another lap there on Cade. So Kilroe just on a mission right now. I think just kind of keep it smooth. Plenty of, like I said, laps to kind of get out there on one set of tires. You see out there in the fans here tonight saying right around that 60-ish laps. So you don't know if they're going to want new tires then or just fuel, but I'm going to guess that after 60-ish laps they're going to want some new treads out there, Carl.
Yeah, and well, it's interesting though, Jimmy, because they have 2 sets of tires in the pits. We mentioned that if it's 60 laps, you're looking at 2 pit stops here tonight. So if everything goes to plan and this thing goes green the whole way, yeah, it makes sense. You take tires on that first stop, you take tires on the second stop, and you're good to go. But if a caution comes out at any point, and when it comes out, it can get very interesting if anybody decides to save any kind of tires. But as it's going right now, and because it's VVR, I would be leaning towards taking tires on this stop. I would think that it's probably going to go green, and you're going to take tires at that second stop around 120 and take it to the end. But you never know. I mean, if it stays status quo like it is, you got, roughly a pit stop around lap 120, a 20-lap dash to the end. Maybe you decide to go no tires. Maybe you decide to go for 2 tires, quicken up that pit stop and get you some track position. But we're a long way from that yet, as we're only completing lap number 32 here. But Dalton Kilroe leads the way by 2.5 seconds. John Garrett, Dustin Franklin, Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton for your top 5. Tim Lee, Len McNeese, Michael Pratt moving up 5 spots here so far in 8th. Eric Blunt and Hemi Gardini for your top 10. Cole Spaulding, Dalton Gibson still on the lead lap for now, I believe. I know our leaders are getting close there. Mike Meyer is down a lap, and Cade Green down about 10 laps, I believe, right now. After having some issues early on, not sure what the case was for the 19, but I know he didn't start the race, and then he got out there, got a meatball back in and out, and now he's finally, looks like he's out and running here on the track. But we got 10 cars on the lead lap, about to be actually 11 cars, but now it is 10 cars as Cole Spaulding goes down a lap.
Yeah, just Don Keller just working on the field here, and once these drivers have to pit, it's going to be, I guess, imperative for all the drivers to continue to keep racing cleanly like they normally do. Because as soon as somebody pits, they can go up to 3 laps down, Carl.
Yeah, and that's the pain of short tracks, especially if you're up there towards the front. We're 3 wide coming out of the corner.
Seen that back there.
You need to make a decision on what you want to do here. I mean, certainly, if you're the leader, if you're Dalton Kilroe, I would think the idea is you're going to run this thing out as far as you can go, all the way out of the tank, and then coming back in. Yeah, you may lose some time to maybe get John Garrett if he comes in short pits, or even Dustin Franklin, but you can't really take that chance. You're clearly the fastest car out here tonight. Run that thing dry and then come into the pits and keep doing that for the entire race. But for these others, maybe taking a gamble, coming in for a short pit, getting those fresh tires to try and gain that track position, it could catch them out. You get that one untimely caution, and you're top 2, top 3 could be looking at 2-3 laps down, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it doesn't take long, and after doing a little bit of research while we're talking back and forth, I did find that we've been here a few times, Carl. Obviously, the truck series that I was talking about, that was back in April of 2024. And then we were actually here with the Elwood Designs Core Xfinity Series in January 21st.
Do not remember that at all.
That's how many broadcasts we do.
Well, yeah, everything just kind of blurs together at this point. Yeah, I thought for sure we were at the Bull Ring, but not Kern. But yeah, this is our second trip here. Your third trip here, as you did the Smoky one there, yeah. But so there you go. You don't have to worry about it. We're seasoned here already, and I didn't even really realize it. There's not too many tracks on iRacing that we're not seasoned at this point.
No, we pretty much touched almost all of them. There's a handful that I actually don't have. These drivers, obviously, any oval driver usually has all the ovals, and any road driver usually has all the roads. Very rarely does everybody have everything. And when I first started iRacing, and that's the way it was, I was just, I think somebody called it what I said last week about the ovalers. That's what I did. I just did ovals. So I picked the cars that I was running, and it was usually the C truck or the A car, but most of the time they were on the same track. So it was easy to be like, all right, I'll buy 3 weeks worth of tracks. So I would find the 3 tracks that were there, and boom, and I'd buy them because you'd get a discount if you bought them in threes. And so then I'd be good for 3 weeks. So every month spending what, like $25, $27, something like that for 3 tracks. I mean, eventually over time you start having them all. But yeah, I'm down. I think last count I had with iRacing and needing content was somewhere the lines. I think maybe 10 tracks. I don't even know if I have 10 tracks left. I think maybe 8, and most of them are all dirt. There's a few out there. One that I didn't think I'd ever have was the Coliseum, because it's super short. You know
Yes.
how I feel about that one.
Yes. Make short tracks not too short.
Yeah, nobody's. We haven't had any league go to the iRacing Speedway, which is a 3-mile super speedway. So we haven't done that. And then there's the mountain, which
The mountain we've done. We've done the mountain. We've done Mount Panorama. We haven't done Bathurst. We haven't done Green Hill. Not Bathurst.
No, the mountain. The mountain where the cars climb the mountain. You race the mountain.
Yeah.
I forget
But
what it's
even
called.
North, I don't think we've done Nürburgring, the full Nürburgring. I think we've done the GP circuit. I don't think we've done a race at the Nordschleife, the full 375 turn track.
It's 177 and it's 8.77 miles long.
It feels like 16,000 turns, but yeah, I know that's definitely one of them, and I'm not saying I would be looking forward to a race at the Nordschleife, because it would I don't think we put on that great of a broadcast. But yes, we do have pit stops here, and now again we're looking at most likely 2 pit stops here based on what we've got there from Mr. Hilton. So maybe splitting this thing up into 3s, taking a short pit here for Eric Blunt, Dustin Franklin, and Mike Casey coming in here right about on lap number 50. We'll see if anybody else.
Not a bad call. I mean, get your most out of your tires, I guess. Especially as much as VVR goes green here, and you can see Mike Hasty coming out in front of Dalton Kilroy right there, and that would only put he's only 1 lap down, so a nice pit stop there for Mike Hasty. So only going 1 lap down, almost 2, as he's in front of Dalton Kilroy, but being able to stay there on that lead. But it does look like Dalton Kilroy is going to be, he's after they came in. Oh, he misses. That's going to hurt.
Oh no, and it's not the easiest pit stop to get in here, the pit lane to get in here, but it's certainly not the toughest. And seeing a mistake here from the 41 is not something we see too often. We'll see. He tries it again here. Attempt number 2 for the 41, and this time he is going to get in there, but I guess it is a little tighter than I realized.
Yeah, it's a tight one for sure, and Tyler Hilton staying out there now, obviously going to stretch it out. Everybody's trying something a little bit different, but that there for Dalton Kilroy obviously is probably a good thing that he's the fastest car on the track, or able to put the fastest laps down on the track. It's unique here, so that pit stop is just kind of challenging. And right now we're going to stay along with Tyler Hilton, and no pressure, so I hope you're not listening to Tyler. We're going to try to come down. We're going to see how this pit entry is here. He's coming down right now into 3. You can see that wall come right up there and have to get slowed down immediately. I believe it's only 35 miles an hour. Short pit stall, because there's only, like I said, only 22 bays here, but then they have to start sharing. But gonna come in here, got a nice front row up here, or close to front row, and get these fresh tires and fuel. We can see the right side going up, and the yellow flag has come out as Dalton Gibson.
Interesting, because we had a couple cars that have not come into the pits yet. Len McNeese is your leader. Tim Lee just into the pits. Hemi Giardini did not come into the pits yet, so it looks like he's going to be shuffled out there to 2nd position. But this is absolutely going to shake things up here, because your leader Dalton Kilrow looks like he is going to be remaining on the lead lap, the 40/7 here of Dalton Gibson. A little aggressive into the corner, maybe some fresh tires there for him. Gets loose and brings out our first caution.
Yeah, and around he goes right there in front of John Garrett too. So John Garrett obviously watching that incident happen, able to avoid the number 40. So it does look like the 40 is going to get away with not much damage there. Maybe some rear end damage from tagging the wall just a little bit, but trying to watch the cars go by. We'll speed this up here, see if anybody gets into them. Oh, wow. Mike Hasey almost got it. Woo. It's not too much
looks
damage.
like our leaders here, John Garrett, Dalton Kilrow, they're going to sneak out of this thing. They are on the lead lap. They have made their first pit stop. And they are going to be first and second, but it's John Garrett that is your new leader. We'll see if he can get out there and maybe dictate the pace a little bit here and keep Dalton Kilrow behind him as Garrett came in 8 laps before Dalton Kilrow. So he's got 8 lap older tires. How much can he keep him at bay here for this second run? And you kind of wonder how this is going to play out as well, based on the fact that it's happening right around lap 60. We didn't see anybody else coming into the pits other than Len McNeese and Hemi Giardini making their free pit stops, and now they are 3rd and 4th here in the race. Tim Lee was in the pits, so he kind of benefited from that one as well. He's going to come out and be in that 5th position. And then we see a few cars getting the wave around here, but we're going to get this thing back under green as getting close to the halfway point. 1 pit stop down, most likely 1 more to go here to finish this thing out, but it's now new leader out front, John Garrett, with a little bit older tires. How long can he hold that 41 back?
Yeah, it's these cars coming around right now, Carl, are actually still 1 lap down. Because like I said, you can go 2 laps down, possibly 3 under a pit stop and getting caught back there. But so 1 lap down, I'm sure they'll be hoping for a caution as a few drivers are still catching up to the back of the field as they go green here. This time it's going to be John Garrett out front, this time by over Dalton Kilrow with slightly newer tires. So Dalton's going to go down to the inside, attempt the pass here, and he's got the inside right now as they head down through the small tri-corner, and it does look like Dalton Kilrow will lead that lap.
Yeah, Kilrow doesn't want to waste any time here. He wants to get back to the lead. He wants to get back out to that advantage that he had, and he wants to use those newer tires, maybe make Garrett waste his older tires a little bit here as well. So there you go, already back to the lead. And that's why I said, if you're the leader, if you're Kilrow, you're the fastest car out there, you stretch that thing out as long as you can. He only stretched it out to lap 54. If he was able to go as long as your Len McNeese and Tim Lee, you have even newer tires than everybody else. 12 lap tires newer than John Garrett. So we'll see how Len McNeese can catch up to Garrett and see if he's got anything for Dalton Kilrow here. But he's definitely gonna have some newer tires than both of them. Either way, a kind of timely caution. It didn't hurt too bad for our top 8 for sure, but still Michael Pratt, Cole Spaulding, Eric Blunt, and Mike Meyer down 1 lap. And Meyer, probably hoping that caution came out about 20 laps earlier so he can get back on the lead lap. Now he's stuck not only a lap down, but he's got 3 other cars in front of him that are also a lap down.
Yeah, well, hopefully, he's able to kind of catch up and maybe even get around those drivers as the laps go by. He was in on lap 55, so one of the later cars that come in. First car in was that number 66 of John Garrett, obviously trying to get maybe a short pit on the field, and it did work, as you seen there. Eventually he would have lost it, but would have got the advantage here. And I would have forced the 41 to...
And we got another wreck out
no.
of turn number 4. I just seen it in the background there. It's like Cade Green and Hemi Giardini involved in this one.
And yellow is out. And Carl, and here we're on lap 68 of 140 while this happens. So we'll go around and see what happened to Cade.
You see Hemi Giardini is loose entering the corner. Never got it collected, and Cade Green nowhere to go, unfortunately, right into the 17. That's going to bring out another caution here. Still plenty far away. I don't think there's any way that you're coming in here and making it to the end. So I'd be surprised to see anybody come down into pit lane.
I don't know. I think I might poke my nose in there if I'm like Tyler Hilton or Mike Hasty.
I mean, top off of fuel,
Yeah.
you definitely can't take your second set of tires here. You don't want to run the
Not
last
yet.
70 on those tires. But this will take us to the halfway point, as we're going to be completing lap number 70 this time by. We do see the 88 of Meyer into the pits, Hemi Giardini, Cade Green involved in an incident. They're both into pit lane, but the rest look like they're electing to stay out here.
Yeah.
Kilrow is your leader. Garrett, McNeese, Franklin, and Lee for the top 5.
Yeah, if I am, yeah. I mean, I know we're at the halfway mark, and I guess maybe they can't make it all the way yet. So maybe just being out there, but being able to kind of maybe stretch it and make them think, or something happens like this, obviously with everybody pitting. Fresh tires coming out, pushing a little bit harder, changing up your rhythm up a little bit, because obviously the new tires are, are a lot different than a little bit older tires, and you start off with new tires and you get in that rhythm, and things change as you go lap to lap, and you're used to that. So then when you come in and restart that all over again, that's where a lot of mistakes can happen. But right now it's going to be Dalton Kilrow out front over John Garrett. Len McNeese in third with Dustin Franklin in fourth. Tim Lee's up in top 5. Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton, Michael Pratt all on the lead lap. Then you got Cole Spaulding, Eric Blount, Mike Meyer, Hemi Giardini, Dalton Gibson, and Cade Green for your 14 drivers.
Yeah, and you wonder, these drivers have been out there for, 60 plus laps at this point. How can they just all of a sudden lose it going into the corners? You figure by now they've had enough experience at this track that they know how the car is going to handle. Well, yes and no, because they've been out there in the car slow. Of course, those first couple laps at the start of the race, you're kind of being a little tender. You're kind of working your way into the track and into the groove. Don't want to kill those tires, and they're brand new. But as the run goes on, obviously they wear and wear and wear, and the car gets usually a little bit tighter throughout the run. So that's what you're expecting. You come in, take those fresh tires, and you almost kind of forget, oh yeah, this thing has a lot more grip at the front end on these brand new tires, and not so much grip on the back end when I set it into the corner with the cold tires. So that's what you see, I think, with both those incidents right there with fresh tires. But we're back to racing here, and hopefully we get a little green flag run here again. I'm sure your leader, Dalton Kilrow, wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I'm sure Dalton would like to start running away again here, as he has out to a little bit of a lead right now, just out front over John Garrett. So getting about a little over a half a second lead at the moment, but going single file, obviously they know that this race is only just halfway over, so plenty of racing still remains here on CRN with VVR. And who's going to walk away the winner? I mean, I know they were kind of excited here tonight about kind of coming to a short track. I know some drivers really like short tracks. I am not one of them. But like I said, this track, it doesn't have a lot of banking, but it doesn't have none. Which makes it better to me than places like Martinsville.
Yeah, I don't even like speaking that word. That is one track that I don't like going to. I don't like broadcasting either. I mean, there's a lot of short tracks that I don't mind broadcasting here tonight. This is putting on a good race here at Kern County. I don't mind broadcasting here, and I didn't mind the first time either. I just didn't remember it. But yeah. Martinsville, it doesn't put on a good race, hardly ever. It doesn't matter how good they are. It doesn't matter if it's, a newer league like Hold Your Brakes or a seasoned league like VVR right here. It doesn't matter. More often than not, it's either a wreck fest with a ton of cautions, or you got a situation where it's just kind of follow the leader and you don't really have much action at all. It's just, to me, is just trash track. And I will say that until my dying breath. I cannot stand the track. They put lights on it, great, cool. Now it's a dark trash track. It doesn't matter. But here at Kern County, this is more of a track that I feel like it's exactly, yeah, you can polish a turd all you want, it's still a turd. But this one's putting on a pretty good race for us here at Kern County.
Yeah, like I said, it has that little bit of banking, and I think it's what makes it bearable. I know that when they get super short, I find myself getting dizzy. or you forgot to turn my force feedback down and my arms are tired. So there's a lot of different things you got to do here. I do know that a lot of like the esport drivers actually either run with no force feedback or little to none, so they don't have to worry about those issues about the wheel kind of fighting them. But you feel so much detail, and when you're out here, you truly try to set up your simulator to as close as the real thing as possible. And if everybody could afford every nook and little gadget that's out there, if we can spend $100,000 on a rig, we'd have everything. Everybody would have motion, a little bit of motion, some nice big monitors. Oh, Mike Casey's getting sideways here. Oh, and yellow comes out.
It gets it stopped. It wasn't completely sideways, but it was enough that it's going to bring out another caution. And now, Jimmy, now we're in the window.
Yeah, I think I'm coming in.
I'm coming in too, but are you taking tires? I mean,
I don't know.
The rest of the way, you kind of want those tires right now, but you get one more caution. Daring.
I might though. Well, I guess. Well, I'm getting close, but by the time the caution's over with, they're sitting at maybe 87, 88 laps. Maybe 10 laps, before maybe some of these drivers really want to kind of come in. But if you don't take them now, and everybody else does, say you're Dalton Kilrow, and you don't take them because you're worried about a later caution, and everybody else does, and then everybody drives away from you or around you because you're slower. So
you're gonna look like a tool.
Yeah.
But if you take that like chance.
Oh, I see tires going up on at least one car.
Fuel only for. I mean, it looks like we got a car staying out as well. Michael Pratt, Mike Hasty staying out. But Dalton Kilrow, fuel only. Looks like Dustin Franklin, Tyler Hilton, fuel only. Len McNeese, first car out there with 4 fresh tires. Now it looks like Hasty coming into the pits on the second lap here. But this is very, very interesting because, again, like you said, if a caution doesn't come out, Dalton Kilrow has been fast all night, been the fastest car out here tonight. But I will die on this hill. If a caution doesn't come out, he will not win this race. He doesn't have the tires to win this race. There's going to be other cars behind him that will be faster and will most likely get up there and pass him. I don't think he has enough speed with used tires to hold them off.
Yeah, they're not like, it's not like
18 lap new tires. I mean, it's a big difference. It's not 5 laps. It's 18, 20 lap newer tires at this point. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if a caution comes out, now all of a sudden he's the one with the better tires. So it's tough. It's short track here, so the chance of a caution is kind of amped up a little bit more than your typical 1.5, 2 mile track. So it's a gamble. I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point. But how about Michael Pratt, your new leader? He's not even worried about taking tires or not. He even come in the pits. So, well, he's definitely banking on another caution to come out here to save him, and he's got a set of tires in there as well. Pace car is in. We are fully into the second half of this race right now. Who's got the best strategy is the question. Green flag in the air, and we're back to racing here at Kern County.
And away Michael Pratt goes there down at the bottom. Dalton Kilrow going to use that outside and to try to get around here. And obviously these two drivers are on the same tires, but Dalton's got a little more fuel. So actually having a little bit of more fuel loosens up the car. Car also definitely drives a little bit different on a fuller tank than empty, maybe being able to rotate a little bit easier on some older tires, but out back up front. So we talked about some of those drivers that have newer tires, and obviously they're going to be eventually coming. So it's just right now, how heavy do they want to burn up them tires? And you can see back here, I know I seen John Garrett's car go up in the air, so on new tires, and you see Len McNeese right in front of them. So it's
Tim Lee, though. Tim Lee has also got new tires as well.
Oh,
so, and right now, this is exactly what Dalton Kilrow needs to have any kind of chance. And to prove me wrong, he needs these newer tire drivers to be battling as you see Garrett checks up. One, he didn't want to cause a wreck, but two, he didn't want to cause a wreck. He doesn't want to yellow at this point. He wants to get up there, but the 24 and the 84 were battling for several laps right there, and that gave an opportunity for Dalton Kilroy to be able to stay up front there and not have to worry about anybody fighting him and watching them use their tires up before they get to him. But now Tim Lee and Len McNeese both clear the 73, and they shake out from each other as well. We'll see if the 24 can make it around the 77 quickly here, and I think he kind of needs to. He needs to use these new tires up as quick as possible to get to the lead and then worry about kind of saving and defending after that.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, obviously something, we've seen Tim usually out there and usually pretty consistent, Carl, consistently sitting, mid-pack for the most part. And here tonight, tires being to his advantage at the moment and being able to run a little bit of laps than Dalton Kilroy, but burn him up for just a little bit. And here he goes. 24 is going to go sideways with Len McNeese. John Garrett gets involved.
Oh, this is exactly what Dalton Kilroy wanted to see here. And several cars involved in this one. It looks like Eric Blunt is going to walk away with a meatball as well. And that will shake things up. We had 4 drivers out there with no tires. Wanted to see a caution flag. We get the caution. I would assume we're going to see all 4 of them now into the pits.
I'm not playing this video in reverse, by the way. That is John Garrett going the wrong way, trying to go with the flow of traffic to avoid any situation here as he kind of goes around. Tim Lee was trying to catch it up in front of him and ends up checking up. Tyler Hilton and the 73 almost get together, but the 6 of Eric Blount nowhere to go as the 66 was slowing down for the incident and ends up turning the 66 around all the way 180 and able to kind of do a good job of kind of keeping it in the center of the track. And not that you want to, we'll go down, look on the nose of John Garrett. That's not what you want to see. It's a head-on collision with your fellow league mates out there. But we're going to have some pit stops here and, see who comes in and when. And it does look like, we did have some people come in that time by, so it looks like even Dalton Kilroy was in on lap 97 and is back in P number 5 now.
Yeah, I'm going to blame that one on us. I think we talked about Tim Lee doing too well for too long, and unfortunately,
what are you talking about? He's still in P number 4.
It is, but it's a caution that we didn't want to see. We want to see how that thing was going to play out, but now we don't get what we wanted, and we're going to see how this thing is going to play out with now Dalton Kilroy got fresh tires, but back in P6, and now we mentioned, it was should have been easier for those cars with 18, 20 lap newer tires to get up there and get to Dalton Kilroy, make the pass. Well, he's got the newer tires now, but only by about 10 lap newer tires. So we'll see if he has what it takes to work through the field quickly and not get stuck in battles on the way up there. Mike Hasty stays out as he took new tires on lap number 86, trying to make those newer tires work. Len McNeese, Tim Lee, Tyler Hilton all came into the pits, but only fuel there for that pit stop to get him a little bit more assured to get to the end, as Michael Pratt is your first one out there on new tires. So it's not even Dalton Kilroy. Kilroy's on the outside of him in 6th place. Dustin Franklin, Cole Spaulding, Hemi Giardini for your top 10.
Drivers hurrying to get in position here as they come to that final turn. Pace car is in. Mike Hasty will lead them off with Len McNeese on that front row. Tim Lee with a nice start there on that bottom side behind Mike Hasty, trying to edge out the number 84, and it looks like he might move himself right back into P number 2, Carl.
And battle back here between the 2 drivers that were leading earlier, the 66 and 41, side by side right now. And I think Garrett wants to try and keep that 41 pinned up there, back behind Tyler Hilton as well, as the 66 rolling that bottom. and maybe rolling into the 0-2 there a little bit as well. But Mike Hasty is out in front right now. Now the 41 gets to move down low to try and utilize those new tires, and he's going to have the door opened up already by the 66. He's going to dive it down into turn number 1. Can Garrett do any kind of defending here? Oh, bit of a bobble by the 41. He's got to go back in line. Car into the wall back there. We're going to keep this thing green. It is starting to get closer to go time here as we are down to less than 60 or less than 40 laps to go here in the race. We've crossed the 100 lap mark. Mike Casey in the lead, Tim Lee in second, Len McNeese, Michael Pratt, and John Garrett for the top 5. But the car that has been the most dominant here tonight, the 41, it's kind of the reason why he's not in third in the points or even first or second in the points, because he's had his wins, and then times he hasn't won have been, mediocre finishes, and especially at like Daytona. So we'll see if tonight is another feast or famine kind of night for the 41.
And obviously the 41 and 66, wouldn't have it any other way but to battle with each other. So behind the 77 of Michael Pratt, just kind of going back and forth side by side. And you know what, it's like the kind of, obviously the cars can run on that higher line, but sometimes when you get stuck out there, definitely it's not as fast as that bottom line. And it appears to be the case here. And if you can't get your car down on the white line, you really can't defend, or if the driver can get a better exit. But Dalton Kilrow with a little better tires is going to go ahead and look to the outside. But Len McNeese a little slow, so he's going to end up probably shifting down behind the 77 of Michael Pratt. And that's not going to work either. So kind of just stuck now. Got to bide his time and be patient. But I'm sure the 66 of John Garrett will be licking his chops, trying to see if he can take advantage of Dalton Kilrow getting hung up here by these two drivers.
Yeah, unless Kilrow decides to take it 3 wide, and it looked like he thought about that for a second. He's going to follow Pratt down below Len McNeese. Pratt is going to clear Len McNeese. The 41 side by side with him now, heading into turn number 3. Got real close there to contact into 3, but it's still going to be side by side exiting the corner. Give the slight edge of the 41 and should be able to clear him in turns 1 and 2, but kind of getting held up right now by Michael Pratt, who's going to the inside of Tim Lee as they get close to touching, as the 41 working his way back through the field here, doing what he's got to do right now, and just trying to find a way of poking and prodding and figuring out which lane is faster. Side by side in front of him, again, it looked like he thought about going 3 wide. Open the door there slightly for the 84, maybe thinking about 3 wide in the backstretch. Not going to happen, though. He's going to follow Michael Pratt in to the bottom side of Tim Lee. And now going to be side by side for third position here as Pratt clears. And now he's got his sights set on your leader, Mike Hasty, 41 up to third.
Able to just bide his time. Just got to be patient and obviously make those moves. He's able to kind of do what he wants with the 41 here tonight. He doesn't seem to be having any issues kind of driving wherever he wants to, and especially right now with the slightly newer tires, kind of you can tell that he has control of the 41 here tonight, getting some good laps in. And making his way through the field. But obviously the 77 of Michael Pratt and 72 of Hasty want him to just stay back where he's at. Leave us alone. Hopefully you burn your tires. If you want to get around, we got to go around on the outside. But yellow flags here.
And I'm pretty sure everybody is taking their tires here. Looks like Len McNeese still having some issues out of turn number 2. I don't think anybody's got a set of tires left in the pits, so we may not see anybody come into the pits this time. We'll see what brought out the caution.
I think it was back here with Len McNeese.
Yeah, this is the front stretch. Yep. Oh, right there already going into turn number 1. The 73 gets into the back quarter of the 84. Sends him sideways, and it looked like he was going to be able to save it. But then it just kind of snapped again on him coming out of turn number 2. I'm guessing those tires certainly a little bit heated up, a little bit angry on the 84. Just see him kind of working back and forth, and then it was the final snap here that broke the camel's back, I guess, and brought out the yellow. But we got a couple of drivers coming into pit lane anyway, maybe just topping off on fuel, hoping that it helps the handling of this car. But now Mike Hasty is going to be your leader. Michael Pratt in second. Dalton Kilrow lining up right behind in third. Dustin Franklin, Tim Lee for your top 5. Len McNeese, 6th place, staying out here under caution. And you see the 2 going up. Tyler Hilton has got some freshies, Jimmy. Do we have a comeback here at the end?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It does look like the 66 getting some repairs done, Carl. See, most of that car getting popped out here is he's trying to maximize the time in the pits to get some of that repaired and maybe affecting his car just a little bit, but was able to stay out of that last incident as it happened in front of the 66 of John Garrett. So he's got some work to do. He doesn't have much time to do it. There's 24 laps remaining right now. It is Mike Hasty out front with Michael Pratt in P number 2 up 11 spots. Obviously your biggest mover of the race. Dalton Kiro sitting in 3rd. Tim Lee sitting in 4th. Len McNeese in 5th. Tyler Hill, and we've seen the tires come up sitting there in P number 6. This could be a race for Tyler to kind of get through, and it's just how much other drivers going to battle in front of him. Dustin Franklin back there in 7th. Cole Spaulding back there in 8th. John Garrett back in 9th. Hemi Gardini for your top 10. And then Mike Meyer, Eric Blount, Dalton Gibson, and Cade Green for your 14 drivers.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting now, in my opinion. I think this is far from over. Mike Hasty leads the way. Michael Pratt right there in 2nd, but I think Michael Pratt, unfortunately, is in probably the worst position to be in because he's got the leader that's going to be able to control the restart here. He's got the 41 who's got newer tires than him right behind him. So I think this could be a quick 2nd place here for the 41, but how quick can the 02 get through the field? He's got fresher tires than everybody else out there in the field. Back to racing here at Kern County. Battle for 2nd place, but you see the 41 already clearing into 2nd place, already got his sights set on the 72, who's going to get down to the bottom and defend into 3 and 4. How long can he defend as they come out of the corner? Hasty close to the wall, and he's not going to be able to protect the bottom. The 41 back to the point. 72 tries everything that he can to stay on his outside. Still going to nose out there, but the 41 is going to end up clearing here. And we got a caution in the back there. As I seen Hemi Gardini go inside. Maybe actually no caution. It was down low.
He's still back there, though.
He spun around quite a few times on the backstretch.
And they're coming up on him now.
Yeah, still parked down there on the bottom. He's trying to stay low and not bring out the caution.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the 02 of Tyler Hilton up into 4th position.
Yeah.
As it looks like the same thing. The 73 gets into the 17. Hard impact there for the 17.
Yeah, he sat there for quite some time and then just kept sitting there, and let's see what happened here, because it said he crashed again.
Can't believe that right there didn't bring out a caution.
Well, everybody was gone by.
But yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
But looking at the race here, Tyler Hilton needs to get by Michael Pratt here. He's looking now on the outside, coming out of the corner. Now maybe a switch back to the inside. Not going to happen just yet. He's got to utilize those newer tires as quick as possible. 18 lap newer tires than everyone in front of him. As Pratt now defending down low, trying to protect that 3rd spot. He's going to drift up a little bit. And Hilton is going to drive around the outside here. Can he get it to stick in 1 and 2 and make the pass here to get himself into 3rd position? And he's going to. Now the 02 is up to 3rd. Time is starting to tick, though. Is 15 laps to go here at Kern County. The 41 back out front. Now the 02 is going to sight set on Mike Hasty. Can he be fast to get around the 72 here and give himself a chance to get up to that 41?
Yeah, you can see him trying to dive in the corners and get that crossover on the cars. And right now, Hemi Gardini coming out of the pits. They pass him, but yeah, Tyler Hilton, the 02, trying to get around the 72, just trying to get to work. It's easier to kind of, if you're going to overdrive the car, go a little bit higher and see if you can get on the outside of that car and maybe get the crossover. And I think he's going to get it here. At least force the 72 to stay up higher. Doesn't have the pass just yet, and is alongside the 72. Yeah, got good drive out of 4, now into 1 and 2 side by side. And it looks like he'll get that pass made here, coming out of 2 and into 3.
So another driver that had tires still is Mike Meyer, and that's why you see him kind of running up there in the 88 as well. He is still down a lap. and back there in 10th, but trying to get his lap back the hard way here, as now the 0-2 clears into second place. He's got a second up to Dalton Kilroe. Can he get up there as we are coming to about 10 laps left in this race? We'll see if that's the last caution that we see, or if we'll have another one yet. It is definitely go time here at Kern County.
Yeah, it is in that window to go, whereas we are about to cross the line with only 10 laps to go. Dalton Kilroe is your leader over Tyler Hilton, Mike Hasty, Michael Pratt, and Tim Lee for your top 5.
Certainly a crazy decision for the 0-2 to still have a set of tires this late in the race, all the way there at lap 115. But it could end up paying off here for the win. The lead is now down to 0.8 of a second. He's clicking off by about 1.5 tenths of a second a lap here. And this time by, it's down to 3/4 of a second. So he is reeling in Dalton Kilroe. Will he have tires to battle him in the end? Will we see the chrome bumper come out here? It is short track racing here, Jimmy. So I would not be surprised if we see a bumper run before this thing is over. It's now down to 0.6.
Anything can happen. We've learned that quickly here to, but at VVR, they tend to race extremely clean. I don't think I've seen, any dirty moves in this league for quite some time. And, and I don't even know if it was, in my memory serves me right, I don't even know if it was this league at all. So they usually run, like I said, they're known to run these long green flag laps. And get stuff done. The fact that they had a few cautions here tonight, I'm kind of surprised. Obviously it can happen. It's a short track, but yeah, I would almost expected a green from the start to the finish. But here we are tonight. No rain clouds in sight this week as we come up with only 6 laps to go.
Well, I'm not sure if the 0-2 was starting to struggle with his tires, or maybe the 41 was saving a little bit here, because it was down to 0.4 of a second. All of a sudden, it's back out to 3/4 of a second. So I think Dalton Kilroe may be saving a little bit here for the last few laps to hold off the charge of Tyler Hilton. And I want to thank our sponsors here for the series. Before I forget, Hilton Crafts and Designs, Goldline Guardians of Fort Worth Screen Printing, for doing everything that they do here for VVRs. We're down to the last 4 laps of this race. Kilroe now looks like he's got this thing in hand. It's back out to 0.8 of a second over Tyler Hilton, Mike Hasty, Michael Pratt, and Tim Lee for your top 5 currently. Back to the line. We got 3 to go.
Yeah, the top 4 does look like they're pretty much set here. Besides Hilton trying to track down Kilroe. But back there, starting in P number 5 with Tim Lee. He's got his hands full with a few drivers. Dustin Franklin, John Garrett, Len McNeese, all right there, wanting 24 to make a mistake so they can take over.
Corner, we are down to 2 laps to go. Dalton Kilroe's lead back to 0.6 of a second. So another late charge here for the 0-2 of Hilton. But it looks like it's going to come up short. White flag in the air. 1 more lap around the half mile of Kern County. You see Hilton trying to do everything that he can. He's got the lead back down to 0.5 second, but it's not going to be enough. Sends it into turn 3. Dalton Kilroe is going to get his 3rd win of the season. A great effort here from Tyler Hilton. Gets himself in 2nd. Mike Hasty coming home in 3rd, continuing a fantastic run here this season and coming off the win last week. Hasty, another great finish here tonight. John Garrett, your points leader, going to have to settle for 6th position here tonight. But this ended up being a pretty good one. We had a couple cautions here, but I didn't really mind it. It ended up being a really good race here at the end, especially with only 2 sets of tires in the pits. That shook things up here a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely shakes things up just a little bit. Obviously, it was nice that the tire was able to have that set of tires there at the end to make at least a run, but not quite enough there for our winner here tonight. And speaking of our winner here tonight, our rundown of your final results for this evening is going to be the number 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Started on the pole and wins here tonight. Tyler Hilton started in 2nd, finished in 2nd here tonight. So great run by those 2 drivers. Mike Hasty finishes in 3rd, up 3 spots. Michael Pratt up 9 spots, biggest mover of the race, in 4th. Tim Lee up 3 spots as well, finishing in top 5. Then it's John Garrett down 3, Dustin Franklin down 2, Len McNeese down 1. Cole Spalding with a decent run here tonight as well, plus 5, finishing in 9th. Mike Meyer down 6 spots, finishing in 10th. Eric Blount down 2, finishing in 11th. Dalton Gibson down 1 in 12th. Hemi Garridini down a few spots here tonight, finishing in 13th. And Cade Green down 2 spots, finishing 14th. So great run for everybody. Thanks for all coming out. So we'll get a chance to talk to your podium finishers here in a moment.
Yeah, once again, I want to thank everyone out there in CRN Nation for tuning in tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As we still got the other race going on right now, the Core GT Series, as they are into to their race over there, and they got their 1 hours tonight. Trying to see where it is tonight. I want to say it's at Daytona. As now that we're talking about the setups, yes, it is at Daytona here tonight. Actually, just about to start. I just realized it's 9:26 right now, so they're going to be starting up here in 4 minutes. So racing action not done yet here tonight. If you want to see some more, check them out over there. But as far as next week, we are very, very light on the schedule, as we got our race on Sunday with the 191 Motorsports. And that's it. Everything else is off next week, as No Hold Your Brakes Academy, the core.
Get the memo.
Yeah, exactly. The Core Xfinity Series done for the season and done for the year here, and then we got CSRL and Pit Road Speed Limit. They're taking a break next week, as is VVR and the Core GT Series as well. So one race on the docket for next week, and then me and Jimmy get to take our little siesta for
what do I do with my hands for
the week? Get out there on the track, but I fear for everybody else that'll be out there on the track with us.
I might just go live just so everybody else can watch. Watch everybody fear the 14 flying around.
Well, we got our top 3 here ready to get their interviews, and we're going to go ahead and start off tonight. Jimmy, 3rd place here. Mike Casey still enjoying a fantastic season here. He comes home in 3rd.
Hey, Mike, Jimmy, Carl up in the booth. You copy?
I do copy. How you guys doing?
Oh, not too bad. One heck of a race here tonight. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of racing short tracks, but you guys put on one hell of a show here tonight. So I want to say congratulations and get your rundown and what your strategy might have been with some of them cautions thrown in and out of there tonight.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will say that I actually kind of do like the short tracks, especially if we can get a good long run in. So we did have a little bit of that. That was kind of cool. Other than that, it was also nice that it was set up in a way that it couldn't be a fuel run almost no matter what we did. That was really cool. So you just race, and it was just strategy at that point. So that being said, I tried to just kind of break it up close to 3 different stints, and the cautions fell a couple of ways where I had to go a little early on one and save some fuel to make it work, but I did. And, I was on a little older tires because of that too at the end. So those guys got back around me. It's all good though. I feel like it was a good race.
Yeah, with the cautions thrown in there, might not have been a fuel race, but definitely one for strategy with tires. With the limited amount of tires that you all had tonight, but you made the right decision. You moved up 3 spots tonight, so a nice, obviously with the quality of drivers out there, it's always good to gain some positions after your qualifying efforts. But yeah, you finished 3rd here, man. So we want to say congratulations and give you some time for any shouts you might have.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I want to say that I spun this thing twice, pretty much. So, man, it's a tough track. So, I really appreciate Tim actually for putting it on. I don't really have much experience here, and I think it's cool to do something different, right? If we all just do the same thing all the time, it gets kind of boring. So, kudos to him for doing that and just taking a chance on something new. Always want to thank. I guess Brandon wasn't in here. Brandon was in our chat, but he was just goofing off. But I always want to say thanks to Brandon and Hemi and Eric Blunt for being in our chat and hanging out. And actually, there was a couple of new guys today, and they raced really good. And I hope that they enjoyed it, and I hope they come back because we welcome some good competition.
It's always good to have a great, healthy competition out there, and that's what you guys have been putting on each and every week. Nice long green flag runs. That's what sticks out in my mind the most, and good racing back throughout the field entirely, even with the smaller counts here on the off season. But definitely still a good amount of core drivers out here. So again, congratulations on that third place finish, man. Thanks for the shout outs, and we'll let you.
Yeah, and thanks for you guys always. I appreciate you guys doing what you do. Go back and watch them; they're always top quality.
All right, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, yeah, you guys take care, man.
Yes, sir.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, Mike Hasty, with again another fantastic run here, and just really helping himself out in the point standings. I mean, 2 wins already on the season, and just stringing together some good runs is certainly finding his footing for sure. And the Xfinity car, still trying to wait for Tyler Hilton here. He's in the Discord, but unfortunately I cannot move him around because he's in the admin channel. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and bring in our race winner here tonight, and that's going to be the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Dalton, you had the fastest car here tonight. I think that was pretty clear, but you had to worry about cautions coming out in kind of untimely situations. You had to worry about who had tires and when, and certainly a late race charge there from Tyler Hilton.
Yeah, he had me sweating there at the end, and that round of green flag pit stops where the yellow came out really wasn't great, because there's not many times I miss pit entry, and that's embarrassing.
I was going to let you have that one since you won the race, but if you want to bring it up, I mean, we'll certainly talk.
Hey, hey, it is what it is. It happens. I got to acknowledge it. I'm just glad it didn't cost me more than it did. Again, Tyler was just very, he was closing. I saw that gap go from 1.2 to 0.6 of a second in about 3 or 4 laps. And I came over the radio and I was like, Tyler, stop. And the gap just stopped closing, because he was, I think he said he got into the corner too hot and then just couldn't get the momentum back again.
Makes sense.
No, that was fun. It was hard to pass. You had to work to set them up. You couldn't just drive through somebody. I mean, you could, but the cars are so on edge. If you tried it, you'd probably just turn them into the fence, and they wouldn't really appreciate that too much. So you had to be smart with the moves you were making. Make sure you got a good enough run, and just stay to your line when you were making the pass. And that was my key tonight. And then once I got clear, I was just trying to get away.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was too easy. Certainly on the first run, you were able to get away, but on that last run there, especially right there at the end, I wasn't sure if it was you kind of saving some tires there, because like you said, once it got to like 0.4 of a second, all of a sudden it started jumping back up. So I don't know if it was you saving, but it sounds like it was more Tyler Hilton just kind of overcooking the tires. But early on in the race, when you had the caution and the pit stops kind of right in the middle of that race, you decided to come in just like pretty much everybody else did, but he decided not to take tires on that caution, kind of right in the pit window for the end of the race. What was your thinking on that? Were you kind of banking on another caution coming out?
Yes and no. The reason I pit there was like you mentioned, it was in the window. But I hadn't put too many laps on my tires, and the balance of the car didn't feel bad, so I figured I would just take the fuel, get the track position, and do what I could to hold on to the lead rather than try to take tires with everybody else who was going to take them there, which about half the people that pit took them. So, no, I just thought it was too early to take tires. And again, I didn't have much tire wear done yet to what I had. So I felt like it was okay. And I felt like it was a good decision. Then I saw the guys on tires flying through, but I think a couple of them even got damaged, so I knew they were going to come back down a little bit. I forgot we had a fast repair, so that would have that would have changed things. I was like, yeah, they're probably going to be in here for about 20 seconds, so I'm probably not going to lose much. And then 3 seconds stop, whole brand new car. I'm just like, dang it.
Well,
but luckily I was able to restart 6th and still had enough time to like I was saying, work on the passes and set the guys up right and make the moves I needed to make.
Yeah, it certainly worked out that you got the caution. I think it was like about 11 laps after you decided to go fuel only, and that's when you came in and took those tires, and you made it last just enough here at the end to get your third win now on the season. Certainly help you out with the points and get you a little closer towards the top. So congrats on the win here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, I got to thank MFRD and Orma Barbaco. I got to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Goldline Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Designs, Fort Worth Screen Printing, everybody else at VVR for coming out, putting the league on, and everybody at home tuning in. Barry, we got another one, baby! Let's go!
Absolutely. Third one of the season. So congrats again. We'll let you go celebrate. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and we'll see you after the break.
Thank you, guys.
Sure.
That is your winner here tonight, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe getting it done. We do now have Tyler Hilton, so we'll bring in Jimmy, our second place finisher here, the 02 of Tyler Hilton.
Tyler, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth to copy.
How is it going? So I'm actually using my phone for Discord because my computer crashed as I was trying to get out of it.
Well, that would make sense why we're trying to get you and can't move you out of that admin office. I was like, well, maybe he's just down there stuck. But yeah, man, I think tonight, obviously, you guys had a great race overall for the league and a couple cautions in there. But hey, you ended up saving some tires for the end and it gave yourself a pretty good opportunity to possibly win this thing. But Dalton just had a little bit too much out there for you tonight, it appeared anyways. So give us a rundown on your race and how everything went for you.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. First off, Kern's a blast. It is a freaking blast in these cars. But yeah, we were definitely saving that second half of the race. I kind of gave up a little bit, just kind of riding around. But with the way that the cautions were falling, I figured that we would have a good chance of maybe getting at least one more. And thankfully we did. The only problem with it was I was able to get around them. I know held up a little bit by the 77 as I was trying to make gains, and I got up to Dalton. He's on a different level. I was reeling him in, but he is hard to pass even on old tires, and I just ran out of laps. So kind of pushed it up one time going into turn 3, and when I did start reeling him back in at 18-second laps, I mean those final 20 went by quick.
Yeah, the laps really start clicking away when you guys get them under green for sure. It was a race before it was almost over by the time you guys you blinked your eyes. You didn't have any rain clouds this week threatening to shorten your race for sure, but you guys did a fantastic job tonight out here. You put on a great show, some battling back and forth, some strategy was used as far as tires and a little bit of fuel that you guys needed. But it was great, fun watch, and we want to say congratulations on getting that second place finish here. And obviously we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but also give you some time for any shouts you might have in that 02.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. And to everybody watching this broadcast on it too, from VVR and Falcon Motorsports, HRE Performance, all them. Great group. Definitely John, Cade. I thank those guys for coming aboard and racing with us every week. And then Goldline Guardians, who's on my benefiting first responders. Don't forget about them over the holidays. As we're spending time with our families and all that over Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're out in the field and out in comm centers across the country and doing their part to keep us safe and protect us and help us when needed. But yeah, Chevrolet, you guys up in the booth, great job as always. And got to thank the makers of my front bumper, because had I got to Dalton, I'm not saying I might have used it, but I might have used it.
Well, that's, I guess we'll have to save that for the next one and see if that chrome actually rubs off from that bumper. But congratulations on that second place finish. Thanks for the shout outs, man. As always, again, from CRN and everybody else out there, happy Thanksgiving next week. And we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yep, I appreciate it. And all fun picking at Dalton there. So, but yeah, thank you guys and happy Thanksgiving. And I hope everybody has a good one. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, Tyler Hilton, and the 0-2. Just coming up short, as he had maybe the right strategies, just not enough time to get it done. I want to thank our sponsors here again: Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and Goldline Guardians. And thank Tim Lee and everybody that makes VVR go round here. Certainly a shout out to all the drivers, and happy Thanksgiving to all the drivers, all the CRN fans as well. Hopefully you families out there have a good, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you back out here on Sunday night for one more go round, one more appetizer before Thanksgiving. But again, if you want some more racing action here tonight, check out our sister channel right now covering the Core GT Series at Daytona. But for myself and Jimmy from Kevin Harvick's Kern County Raceway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.